Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Rusty McCranie, and welcome to Weather Express. It's your weather in 5 minutes. Start the clock. Friends, we're already seeing some strong to severe storms developing today in portions of the southern plains through the southeast. Some heavy rainfall up the eastern seaboard. We've got windy conditions out west, and more severe weather likely to develop for a good portion of the country in the next couple of days. Today, your risk is all the way from West Texas up through portions of the East Coast, including Florida, the East Coast there, but a lot of the Gulf Coast and Southeast states. The biggest risk is going to be that area in yellow, the slight risk for Southeast New Mexico and Western Texas coming up. We'll look at that here a little bit later. I want to start the video off, though, in the Northeast and New England. These are non-severe storms, but there's been some heavy rain along the New England coastline today, from Portland back down towards Boston, Nantucket, Cape Cod, moving through the New York City area. Let me bring on the visible satellite imagery for you here again. And again, extra cloud coverage today, temperatures 50s and 60s, another band of storms. They'll be non-severe, but redeveloping and moving back off towards the east. So just a wet day in the Northeast and New England. Cloudy skies, cool conditions over the Great Lakes as well. Not nearly as active as what it was yesterday, all the way through the Ohio Valley, clearing out for Detroit on over towards Columbus. We are going to get more storms again, riding up I-95 towards the coastline of South and North Carolina. These storms at the hour are not severe, but when we look at the rest of the southeast, especially back down towards eastern Florida and the southern areas of Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi off towards the west, those storms that develop later on this Tuesday afternoon and evening could be marginally strong to severe, especially along the I-95 corridor of Florida, and then connecting with our area here that's a little bit more active from the Dallas-Fort Worth area off towards the east. When we look at the current warnings that are into play, most of these storms are not severe. These are special weather statements, but still some heavier rainfall. One severe thunderstorm warning east of the Alexandria, Louisiana area, but the storms in West Texas are just beginning to develop at the hour, and these storms are the ones that are going to be the most prominent for today from southeast New Mexico into West Texas. We do have a brand new severe thunderstorm watch that has just been issued for this area. So this is what it looks like right now. Again, can't rule out an isolated tornado. And again, this one just got issued, but the wind threat and the hail threat, the bigger story. 70-mile-an-hour winds, 2.5-inch size hail, some ping pong ball plus size hail, and an additional severe thunderstorm watch could develop farther east later in the day. It's hot, it's humid out there. There's no doubt about it. Temperatures in the 80s and 90s in a lot of spots. You know, out west, we've had a little bit of rain across the Intermountain West, but still you've got some triple-digit heat already developing early on Tuesday afternoon in some of these areas, and it's only going to get worse even into portions of Washington State and Oregon. You know, these are your current feels like temperatures in a lot of spots. Look, it's just going to be very hot out west. So those are the heat advisories that are to play, the potential severe weather in the orange areas, and then that flood threat for portions of the Mid-South and Arklatex with, you know, a lot of rain that they've had over the last couple of days. All right, let's get into the weather story here. Going to bring up the HRRR model, the high resolution rapid refresh over the next 48 hours. Talk about how these storms are going to evolve. It's going to get more active again into the plains. We have kind of a quick moving area of low pressure that will skirt the Canada, northern areas of our country into portions of the plains and the western Great Lakes. So from Big Sky country to the Dakotas and on over towards Minnesota and Wisconsin, these storms should generally be non-severe, but there'll be pockets of some intense weather. Can't rule out hail being the bigger threat. You know, this time of the year, Montana and Wyoming and Colorado can get into some big hail-making storms. That's going to be a possibility the next couple of days. Then more rain and storms again, Minnesota towards portions of Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. The storms moving off of the eastern seaboard will actually dry things out across the East Coast, at least for the next couple of days. Additional strong to severe storms likely in the southeast. Of course, this time of the year, Florida always see a lot of activity. Then this spin right here, that's what's coming out of southeast New Mexico today, which will really encompass a lot of central and the southern sides and eventually East Texas as we get into Wednesday and Thursday. That's where I expect the best opportunity for more severe storms. For tomorrow, it's Midland, back down towards San Antonio, Houston, just to the south of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Again, you do have a secondary marginal risk area for those hail-producing storms on your Wednesday, as I've mentioned, and then another marginal risk area for those storms, I said, into the western Great Lakes and portions of the upper Midwest. And And then for Thursday, again, that whole system kind of rotates into the central and the northern plains. So from East Colorado all the way into the Minneapolis area. And once again, these storms in South and Central Texas don't really go very far. Additional non-severe storms are likely east of the Mississippi River. Look, we could still get a concentration of a few marginally severe storms in those areas. I'll be monitoring that. Flooding is going to continue to be a big concern in Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas. Again, you look at your scale, 5, 6, 7 inches of rain could fall in the next couple of days. So flood watches will generally continue in those areas. And the other big thing is the winds. The winds are going to be quite strong along the eastern seaboard and then back out towards the west as well. Another storm system moving back into the Pacific Northwest. So both the east and the west coast, a lot of wind there. And again, all the storms in West Texas with a heck of a lot of wind and some higher wind gusts to go along with it. Friends, I'm out of time. Appreciate you making Weather Express a part of your daily routine. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to the channel. Let me know in the comment section below where you're viewing from. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'm back tomorrow with the latest 5-minute forecast.